Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Today we're talking about Walking Dead, Dead City, the what's coming this season trailer that we got at the end of episode 1, which was a very good episode. I really enjoy jumping back into that world, seeing Negan kind of back into his element after everything that's happened in the last year time frame that we got within the show, even though it's been 2 years since we saw these characters last. But really seeing just how things have kind of progressed for him, and just how things are just really weird between Maggie and Herschel. But it was really fun jumping back into that. But after the first episode, we did of course get a kind of full season trailer about what we should see throughout the rest of the season, because we are getting 8 episodes this year instead of 6, which I'm very excited about because it gives it opportunity to dive more into things. You wouldn't think 2 extra episodes would make that big of a deal, but it really freaking does. And I'm excited to decide to go that route with this series and just what it's planning, because as I mentioned in a couple of my early review videos, that they did not give reviewers access to those last 2 episodes. So there's a lot of speculation that's building up to something bigger, maybe reunions, maybe cameos. Hopefully there's something going on that gets us to be more excited about this, because the excitement and the hype for the franchise definitely isn't what it used to be. But anyways, aside from that, I wanted to talk about the trailer. But before we get into that, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing, come back to the channel for more content just like this. But jumping into the trailer, we have a very familiar, you know, overused shot in some cases, but we've seen the Radio City Hall light up of that particular block or what have you, used in a lot of different trailers and teasers for the show leading up to the premiere. But we see this sky shot, seeing everything, because we saw at the end of the last episode where Bruegel, who didn't have any dialogue for whatever reason, they're just trying to keep it kind of mysterious maybe, or just, I don't know, it was kind of strange that he said nothing his entire appearance in the last 10 minutes of the episode. But we see him coming out onto those steps after that meeting, after Negan puts that guy on his ass, which was really kind of funny, because it seems like in the next preview and everything that he's going to be a little bit more cooperative. But we see him coming out the steps and just in total awe. So we know that they've kind of made the sale at this point, where he's going to get his men in line because he wants access to that electricity, because it's a commodity. It's a very, bourgeois kind of thing at this point, where only certain people are going to have access to this. And they've made their point with their meeting and with Negan's presentation that if you want access to this stuff again, you have to team up with us. But then we get the shot of Maggie, a couple different shots actually, where it looks like she has made her way into an area where she has to sneak around, because we know that she's going to kind of try to find her way back to Negan, because she feels guilty about how things were left and everything, considering that he did save her son. So we have a lot of different things going on as far as her making her way in, the Marshals, New Babylon making their way in, and with Maggie and Negan supposedly spending a lot of the season apart. And I imagine that's why the last 2 episodes were kind of kept out of anyone's reviews and whatnot, because along with probably their reunion and just the big action I think that's going to follow, I'm really kind of almost like, I would say 80% sold that we're going to see a cameo of some sort, which I really hope so, or at least an after credit scene, which would just sell Walking Dead so much, as far as could we see a reunion series, or could we see something bringing the show back to its former glory, or at least to wrap up these characters and give us the reunions and just everything that we want to see that we haven't gotten with the last few seasons or the last few iterations of Walking Dead. And with how the original series wrapped up, we didn't get exactly what we wanted. We did get, the return of Rick and whatnot, but it could have been more. And I'm hoping that's what they're planning with the last couple episodes of Dead City, because Daryl Dixon is just kind of on its own level right now, and it's not a good one. But jumping into the next scene, we just have a shot of Negan. This is probably another kind of presentation among the Barazzi, seeing that they are going to be in charge and everything, and he's going to put things how he wants to be them, and more so how Croat wants to be them, because he wants them to be kind of the saviors again, but without, taking up that mantle of that name or whatever. Because we see another shots of Negan talking to these people, and these may be Barazzi or they may be random people off the street, but given you got the guys in the background that, for whatever reason, are always in these masks, that can't be comfortable. And I know it's kind of to give it the image or whatever, because we had those guys in the last episode that were out gathering walkers and everything, when they had the ones out there that were holding the flamethrowers. So there's going to be I don't know, probably levels of lackeys, whatever, for the Barazzi. But anyways, jumping on to the next one, we have a screen grab of the overlay of Central Park that has become just giant wilderness at this point. But this season on Dead City, so then we have the shot of this boat making its way to the island. Not sure who this is yet. We don't know if this is New Babylon or just some random group because we know that the boat does get fired on. So it's still kind of a mystery who this is, but we see the Statue of Liberty there in the background and the outline of the skyline of Manhattan. Then we got what looks like Maggie and the Babylon people being swarmed because we have a voiceover that says they've made their way onto the island. So I imagine they're going to get to the island very quickly and just really, this is where a lot of stuff's going to take place. Just another shot of Negan kind of looking pensive and everything, because we know that he didn't go into this willingly. He was threatened. His kids or his wife and his son were threatened with, bringing them to New York. And so I know that he's going to have a lot of prior reservations as far as being this guy again. But I know part of it is also him going to get kind of washed up in the whole thing again, where he's going to want to do what he can to make sure they're safe, but also probably there's probably gonna be some perks that come along with it. Then we get another shot here of Pearlie, Ginny, Herschel, Maggie, and then Lucia, and a lot of these other people of New Babylon. There's one guy, I don't see him in this frame though, but he was in the first episode. He was another marshal. He looked like he's going to be a problem just from the few shots that we got, like standstill shots where they kind of focused on him. He looks like he's going to be a problem at some point, or he's just going to be someone they kind of focus on and then he's going to die. So we'll see. Another shot of Central Park. Central Park is probably just a whole issue in itself with the overgrowth, with the wildlife, because we know we got a bear coming, and people keep speculating, oh, it's a walker bear. It's not a walker bear. It's just a bear. It's been probably beat up and attacked by walkers on a regular basis, and it's probably been scarred and everything else. So there's just that because they've never approached the idea of the virus or whatever it is actually infecting animals. But anyways, this shot, I'm really excited to see what they run into because we know we have a few shots or a few scenes where Negan goes into to Central Park. Then we got people running through. We have Colonel Lucia running away from something. So maybe Central Park's gonna play a big part because I know that they filmed a lot in the setting that they used for Central Park. Then we got Negan here facing these walkers. Now the walker fight that we saw in the last episode, that is interesting to me because we've never seen walkers actually fight each other. And so I have to wonder if this is how they're going to kind of introduce variants again, or just there's something strange going on with the walkers that they're using in these gladiator style fight scenes where I'm not sure if they're variants or just what's going on because we've never seen them attack each other for any reason. I mean, maybe here and there, but it's just kind of strange to me. Then we got Shaldama being her creepy self. Then we get shots of this. I want to say this is a museum that they wander into because we got this one dude here in the tan jacket. I can't recall his name, but he's kind of a Milton type from the original series, or Milton or Lance or Hornsby or whatever the fuck. But this guy that's taking, well, I guess it was Milton from the original series from season 3 and 4, where he's taking down the history. He's wanting to make sure people know about this stuff, 50, 100 years down the road, if mankind manages to survive. But we have him taking notes, and this is them pretty sure going to a museum because we saw a scene where they're burning the portrait of George Washington crossing the Hudson. So we got that going on. Then we got this dude from the first episode where he openly just challenged Negan, saying, "We're going to do what we want. We're not going to listen to you." And then he got put on his ass. He looks a lot more cooperating this time around. Just this look that I grabbed that he has on his face. He's like, "Oh shit." He's like, he's got to listen. He's got to do what he says. And he's not going to cross him again. So Negan's already kind of established the dominance in this kind of setting. I'm sure Bruegel's going to be another whole freaking monster or whatever, but I'm interested to see their first interaction and just see how that goes, considering the type of character that Kim Coates always plays. So it should be fun to see just how they'll mesh as people, as far as just characters talking back and forth. Then we get a shot of Herschel here, and it looks like he's being held captive. So they've possibly run into people. I think this is where they run into Bruegel's people, just based on, I want to say it's the next frame that I've got, where we have Bruegel and his men. I don't know if they're just taking out walkers or taking out people, I think that Herschel and Maggie will get captured because we see that this could be another option or possibility as far as the scene where Negan is being held down and he says no because we know that his family's being threatened, but we know that he does care about Maggie and Herschel because of just their history and whatnot. But I think this is where they're going to be captured and we have Negan being held down, and this is the result of that. I think that's how that's going to play out. Then we get the New Babylon army, I can only assume, marching through the streets of New York, ready to just take it over because we know their whole plan is to take over the methane and utilize it and everything for all their uses and needs. Because we got Maggie here sneaking through the methane processing plant. Then we got Colonel Lucia. I don't know. I'm not sure about her yet. I kind of hate her, but I feel like her and Maggie might be friends, or she just might turn around and be someone that's such a problem just constantly that she's going to get herself killed. So there's that possibility too. Then we just got a shot here because we had a shot of this elevator going up this building. The shot of Maggie and Negan's reunion, more so probably in the last couple of episodes. That's just my theory as far as why they're being held and everything. Then we got a shot of Negan here with Lucille on the floor. Then we got Maggie holding the Croat, like really. I don't know if she's interrogating him or just threatening his life. Something going on where she says that you think this is a game. You think this is all a game. So they should have a pretty interesting interaction as far as this is probably how he dies, honestly. Or I just really believe that with the shot that we got of Maggie holding the new Lucille, it's either going to be him or Dama, because Dama's brainwashing Herschel, and there's just so much going on as far as just the after effects of all that and that experience and whatnot. And Maggie is just there's gonna be a moment I think she's gonna take someone out with Lucille, and it's gonna be just I don't know, it's gonna be really weird considering everything that happened with Glenn, but we'll just have to wait and see. Then we get shots of Pearly here. Also looks like he's sneaking around the processing plants, and we know that I think anyways that he cuts the electricity for one of the buildings that they're in after they get it up. Then we get a shot of Bruegel here with a flamethrower. This is probably a reward or just one of the perks of joining Negan's cause or Dama's cause more so. Then we get shots of Negan here bringing the hammer down on somebody. Someone is going to end up being a sacrifice more than likely, that he's going to have to put them in their place to show that he's playing ball. He's in the game. He's taking everything they're saying seriously, and he's not going to risk his family being put in harm's way. But anyways, just a breakdown of the trailer. Pretty long trailer, actually. I grabbed a lot of shots from it. I wanted to dive into as much as possible, but I'm really, really excited for this season and just what it holds as far as development of story, development of characters, where it could put The Walking Dead as far as what future it could point to. And just that's a kind of a big red flag for me that they're holding those last two episodes. I mean, it could be more so just because they don't want the ending getting out there because they've had such problems with that in the past. But I just really think that they're holding these last two episodes because they're the key to something bigger. That they're going to involve a cameo or they're going to involve an after scene credits or after credit scene, and it leads me to believe that they finally might have something going into effect. That they have something in play to get us excited for this freaking show again or this universe. So hopefully it plays out that way. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my very long breakdown, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing, come back for the channel, more content just like this. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.